What's good, everybody? Yeah, I got my Squirtle slash War Turtle slash Bulbasaur shirt on. So we out here. We about to get started on these manga reviews. I start off with my GOAT, One Piece. I might do like 4 or 5 mangas today. 4 or 5. All right, let's get started on the manga. We're gonna start with my GOAT right here. One Piece. Alright, so we know last chapter we dug into a little bit of Zoro's past, and we also know he has Conqueror's Haki, but which we found out like many chapters ago when he utilized it to cut Kaido. Alright, this might be one of my favorite chapters because Sanji is one of my favorite characters in all of One Piece. And as we know, Sanji's fighting Queen right now. Well, this chapter starts off with Sanji and Queen, they're going at it. And they're next to the pleasure room, which is for the prostitutes. So, as they're fighting, the prostitutes are trying to run away. And while all that's happening, Momo, the dragon right here, is trying to make the island stay afloat so the island won't drop. And once the island drops, is bad for everybody. Everybody goes boom. As Sanji is fighting Queen, he starts doing techniques that are familiar to Sanji, like real familiar. Techniques that his brothers have learned. As you can see here, Queen shooting lasers from his eyeballs, and that was a technique his brother learned. His brother knows. And then Sanji gets hit with another technique. He gets hit with a Henry, and that's a technique one of his other brothers knows. If you don't know anything about Sanji's family, most of them were created in their bodies were made from like science, but they're all human. But everything they can do is like based off science. And Sanji was the only one that didn't have any powers, so he was considered the weak one, and it drove him to run away from home. Sanji is just running around like, damn, you're just gonna do all my brother's attacks and shit. And the reason Queen calls Sanji Stealth Black, because that's one of the techniques he knows. The technique when he used his raid suit, he turned invisible. As you can see right here, Queen said he can recreate any move his brothers can do. Now Sanji gets hit with his third brother's attack, and guillotine. And Sanji is being thrown all over the place. And you see right here, Sanji kicks Queen's arm off, which was a cybernetic arm anyway, so not much that Queen lost. And you see Sanji is tired right here. Queen is real mad that he lost his arm, and Sanji told Queen not to ever say his family's name with him near him, because Sanji does not fuck with his family at all. His family left him for dead, so he don't fuck with them at all. And Sanji gives him another kick to the stomach, and as you see here, Sanji started talking his shit. And then Queen's starting to get mad. He's like, you know what? We both been fighting for a long time, so we're both tired, nigga. So Sanji was like, you know what? Fuck it. We gonna. I'm not the same person you fought earlier. So this is when Queen does Sanji's technique and turned himself invisible. He said right here, this one's your ability, Stealth Black. So Sanji was like, damn. So you can copy me too. And that's when Sanji disappeared. It's not like, but Sanji can't turn invisible unless he's using his suit. Sanji just moving so fast that you can't see him. Yeah, he's moving so fast that you can't even see him no more. So this is the little mouse that one of the little prostitutes was, I guess that was her pet, one of her pets. So she found the mouse. The mouse came out of hiding, and hurry up over here. So she's trying to get the mouse, and then Queen, he sees her. He's like, this hussy bitch, like trying to always skipping my advances and shit. I guess Queen always wanted he wanted to fuck that prostitute, but she always said no, and kept saying no, and kept saying no. And if you watched like 2 weeks ago, Sanji hit a woman, maybe, but he actually never hit the woman. That's when Sanji figured out that it was Queen that hit her, because he was invisible the whole time, and it wasn't Sanji. And we find out that Sanji, not only did he get a power boost, he has an exoskeleton, he has extra muscle, he has speed, and he can also increase his strength. And he adds haki to the end of all that, so he can even get stronger. So that means he can make his flames even hotter than it was before. Yeah, so this is when Sanji realized that it was Queen that hurt her and not him. So this is, and if you know Sanji, he don't like when women get hit. So this nigga's about to go on all offensive mode, and he kicks Queen out of invisibility. And this is where Sanji just goes ham on his ass. Kick after kick after kick after kick after kick after kick after kick. Then he hits him with his final move, a super epic kick, and that's the end of the chapter. Sanji's one of my favorite characters, so I might have like a bias on this, but this was definitely an extremely good chapter to me. That's why I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. But then again, that also might be my bias because Sanji's one of my favorite characters. And Sanji hasn't gotten shine in a long time. So when I see Sanji actually getting some shine, I actually got happy. Alright, the next one. We're going to do My Hero. My Hero Academia. And if you were here last week, the ending of My Hero for last week, it hinted at one of the students being the traitor. I think it hinted at Invisible Girl being the traitor. This chapter really reveals who the traitor really is. The chapter starts off with Bakugo and Deku training, and then we find out that Bakugo's new signature move has to deal with his sweat. That's what his new cluster power is coming from. So I'm guessing he's using his sweat to shoot like exploding bullets, but it takes a long time for him to sweat. That's why he's in his winter suit right now. I'm guessing it's summer right now, and he's in his winter suit, so he can actually get hotter quicker. And Todoroki, he's also trying to learn a new technique. He's trying to combine his ice and his fire at the same time, so Dabi won't burn him. So the electricity nigga is asking Mineta, we're supposed to be going out to all-out war, but shouldn't the villains be concerned since their number 1 and 2 is really decommissioned? So Bakugo was like, nah, there's three reasons why we shouldn't be ahead of ourselves, because the top villains are shaken right now. Like the first one, finding them is really unlikely, because they've been trying to find them for like a year now, and they haven't found anything. They found like everyone's hideout. They found where all the Nomu is being created. They found all that shit, but they haven't found like the villains. And reason 2 was what happened in the last arc. Shigaragi's body wasn't even complete, and he fucked up half the heroes of Japan. A good number of them quit, and a good number of them died in the last arc. And that was Shigaraki without his body being complete. And the third reason that they're gotta be on their toes is because if they can't find them, the villains gotta start the action. The villains gotta make the first move, and that's why they're all training and shit. So Midoriya goes on, takes a walk. He asks everyone to take a walk. So Anita was like, you know what? Yeah, you can go take a walk. Everything's calmed down now. The facility don't hate you no more. You're not a rogue. You're not a rogue agent no more. So we're here to help you. Blah blah blah. Just go take your walk. And yeah. So it goes over to the woods. We have Invisible Girl. She's actually overhearing something. She's overhearing a conversation, but she's invisible, so it's not like they can see her or anything. So she overheard a conversation, and it looks like it's three people talking. Two of them is telling this one person that you don't have a choice. Orders just came from All for One, and the other person's like, "Don't worry, just do this like always. You've always done what All for One told you to do." And Invisible Girl was always worried about this one student because this one student didn't smile when Midoriya came back. This one student was real depressed, so she went to go check on him. But when she went to go check on him, she found out some shit that she wasn't really supposed to find out. We find out that the real traitor is really Aoma, the nigga that shoots the light out of his dick. And if Aoma doesn't do what All for One tells him to do, he's gonna kill his parents. That's why he's sitting here crying. But the thing was, that's not even the most shocking part, because they hinted at this nigga being the traitor for so long. It's even less shocking than Invisible Girl being the traitor. What was the most shocking thing was Aoma was born without a quirk. So the reason why he's the traitor is because All for One gave him a quirk. His parents promised All for One that if you give our son the quirk, he will do anything you tell him to do. And that was a trap. So now he has to do whatever All for One does, or he's going to kill his parents. He was a quirkless person just like Deku. Yeah, I didn't expect Aoma not to have a quirk at all. And Aoma's crying his eyes out because he really wants to be friends with everybody. He doesn't want to be the traitor. He doesn't want to do any of this. So Aoma, this whole time, he was trying to play his part to avoid suspicion. He's trying to play his part. He thought when All for One was caught by All Might, he thought all of this was finished and that he can do like regular normal shit with his friends. But that wasn't the case. So now the parents are forcing him to obey All for One again. Aoma had some shitty ass parents, Mo. Aoma has some shitty ass parents, making him to be a shitty ass person as well. And he's not even trying to be shitty. They're telling him that he has to save them. And walking through the forest, Invisible Girl brings Deku over. And then Deku was like, he heard everything that Invisible Girl just told him. And the parents are trying to be like, what do you mean? You didn't hear shit. She just, I don't know what she heard. Blah, blah, blah. But Aoma, he can't take it anymore. He's starting to break down. He really wants to be friends with Midoriya. He's starting to really break down. And that's where Deku always noticed that he was always looking gloomy and shit. So he went to go look for him. So Aoma, he finally tells Deku the truth. He's nothing but a scumbag villain. And that's where the chapter ends right here. Yeah, like I said earlier, Aoma being him being the traitor is not, it's not surprising. It's very, very predictable. Even more predictable than Invisible Girl. But Horikoshi, he got me, he got everyone. He hit us with a trick bag last week, showing that picture of Invisible Girl. He made everyone think she was the villain. But somehow, deep down, I kind of knew that he was going to put us in a trick bag. The most surprising thing out of this chapter was Aoma being born quirkless. Being born with 0 powers. That was probably the most surprising thing out of this. But overall, I'm going to give this chapter an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty good chapter. I like how Horikoshi put the trick bag on us. I'm not even mad at it. I'm not even mad at Aoma being the traitor for real. Because he told us this a long time ago. He's been hinting at this a long time ago. Alright, since there was no Black Clover this week, we're just going to jump straight into Jujutsu Taisen. So Jujutsu Taisen starts off with Higuruma talking to Yuji. And that's where Higuruma makes a new rule in the calling games. The new rule is to make it possible to transfer points between players. He used 100 of his points to make a new rule. Yeah, so Higuruma had 103 points. He used 100 of his points to change a rule. So now that, and Higuruma, he gave one of the points to Yuji. If no one has any points, they won't be able to use their curse energy for like 19 days. So Higuruma, that's when he leaves. But Yuji wants him to help him, but Higuruma is like, nah, I can't help you. I'm gonna just hate myself even more if I help you. Now the story goes back to Megumi. And Megumi, as you know, he was tricked by this girl to come meet this fella right here. I don't think we know his name yet. And he was like, oh, your Shikigami is sufficient. He was like, I see that you're a strong sorcerer. If he wasn't strong, he would have just killed him. So the girl was like, huh? I never knew that shit. You only kill weak niggas? So he asked Megumi to join him, and he asked him how much does he knows about the culling game. So Megumi tells him it's a ritual used. It's a ritual for using the cursed energy of players inside the barriers to take Japanese people to the other side, so they're no longer human. And then the guy, he asked him if he knew who Kenjaku was, but Megumi didn't really tell him that. He didn't really tell him a truth per se, because he knew that there were sorcerers that have a connection to Kenjaku. And the reason they're trying to find Kenjaku is so they can release Gojo out of his seal. So this sorcerer, he's telling Megumi that what he just said about the calling game is all a bluff. Everything that's going on is for like a second or third plan that's going on that Kenjaku is making. And he thinks that what Megumi thinks is wrong because, one, the number of players, two, the differing levels of the player's skills, and three, the barrier rules. And he further explains it that suppose there are 1,000 players equally divided among 10 colonies. That means each colony has 100 players. But among the players, Kashimo and Higuruma are much stronger sorcerers. Those two have already wiped out 60 sorcerers. So basically he's saying that the strong is weeding out the weak right now. That's what the calling game is for. And this sorcerer is explaining to Megumi that Kenjaku is going to drop a bomb soon. He don't know what kind of bomb. He don't know when. It could be now. It could be later. But he's going to drop something like real soon. He's trying to gather strong allies so he can fight Kenjaku. And that's when Megumi explained, this girl wasn't strong at all. Why did you keep her? So people can let your guard down. That's why he kept her. And then he asked him, like, when you're done, if he's done using her, he's going to kill her for points. And he's like, nah, he wouldn't do that. Oh, so his name is Reggie. So Megumi asked if all his allies' points total to 100. And that's when Reggie said yes. So Megumi is like, hey, nigga, you're going to give me all your points right now. And that's when Reggie said, well, the negotiation broke down. And that's when one of his followers attacks Megumi. But Megumi is always ready, as he disappears in thin air and then comes out of this nigga's shadow and flips this nigga out the window, and then uses his bird Shikigami to knock him all the way down to the ground. And that's when he told the girl to never see her, like, don't ever let me see you again. Because next time he sees her, he's going to kill her ass. And that's when Reggie was like, oh, I get it. You were holding back. You want our points, so you can't really kill us unless you get our points. And he tells him, but if you don't fight to kill, you'll wind up dead. And then you just see some eyeball fall down from the sky, and then you hear, like, well, you don't hear it. It just says boom. I'm guessing that's a fucking bomb. And that's where the chapter ends right here. But overall, I'm gonna give it a smooth 7 out of 10. It was more informative than previous chapters. You get to see a little bit of action in the end. That's why I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And I'm debating if I want to do Kaiju number 8, because I didn't read it twice. I only read it once. But we're gonna fuck around and do Kaiju number 8 anyway. So the battle between General Shinomiya and number 9 is still going on. That's where this nigga was like, damn, is that apparently General Shinomiya, he did number 2's main burst, since he has Kaiju number 2's he's using Kaiju number 2 as a weapon, and he's thinking if he unleashed that with his human body, he won't be able to keep up. But even after all those attacks, number 9 is still regenerating. He's still fighting, but even though he's regenerating and all that, the core has been exposed. And once the core is exposed, once you blast the core, you kill the Kaiju. But that's when he started changing shape. He's trying to focus his whole body on defense now that his core is exposed. But General Shinomiya is like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I got a whole nother arm, nigga. Here's the second shot, motherfucker. So number 9 is thinking, there's no way a human can actually can be capable of this bullshit. And then he hits him again with another powerful blow, which blasted through a damn building. God damn. That's how powerful the blow was. And then you got Kafka right here is like, what the hell's going on? So Kafka and the captain of Squad 1, they're running over to General Shinomiya right now. But number 9 still gets up. And he was like, damn, not even my powered body could fully withstand that shit. That's when Cuz thought the old man did it. He did that shit. He fucked him up. And that's when number 9 was like, hey, if you had a Kaiju body like me, I would have lost. And you can see the old man tired of shit right now. So he's like, one more attack. Just one more attack is all I need. So number 9 tries to eat the old man. He's trying to eat him so he can get the power of number 2. Then you see an explosion. And you see Kafka and the captain of number 1. They walking up. And then the next thing you see is old man Shinomiya being the last one standing. And that's when the chapter ends right there. It was a pretty much an action-packed chapter. It was a lot of action. A lot went down. Overall, I'm going to give this chapter a 9 out of 10. This was definitely one of those action-packed, really super action-packed chapters. That's why I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. That's it for the manga reviews for the day. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and the subscribe button down there. You should follow and subscribe your boy Humble Monk 75. Yeah, yeah!